right, so we can get us started. This is going to be a really fun workshop and we will get going. So, for those of you that don't know me, my name is Mika Leah. I am the CEO and founder of Goomi Group. I want to thank you for choosing to spend part of your day, the next 45 minutes or so, with me. I do know that your inbox is overflowing. Slack is probably dinging, and someone probably still hasn't filled out their open enrollment forms. Am I right? And here's what I'm seeing from the outside looking in. I see my HR friends. You've got a wellness budget. You've got ideas. You've got leadership that is asking for ROI, and your people are asking for support. And then there are all of the challenges of burnout, mental health, engagement, hybrid headaches, which I didn't even know was a thing, but I think it is. And it's as if you're standing in a room full of little fires and trying to figure out which one needs the hose first. So today, instead of firefighting, we're going to identify the one challenge that will have the biggest impact when it's solved. So, over the next 30 minutes or so, 30 to 40 minutes or so, you're going to identify your most valuable challenge. Now, we're calling it your MVC if you have seen from the worksheet. So most valuable challenge, and we'll call it an MVC probably from here on out. Now, this is not necessarily your loudest complaint. It is not the trendiest initiative that's out there, but the challenge that when you solve it will create the biggest possible ripple effect across your culture, your team, and your company. Even better, by the end of this workshop, you will walk away with a clear focus for 2026, a framework that you can actually use to get buy-in for budgets and other needs, plus maybe even a little sense of accomplishment. All right. Are we ready to dive in? We're going to be using a lot of little chat emojis on here because I need to know since we can't, it's going to be challenging to unmute yourself. So, to make it really interactive for me and to know that that you're out there and you're working along with me, can you drop me a little thumbs up in the chat? So find the chat box. It'll say click on everyone. There will be a little smiley emoji. Click on that and you can put all your fun emojis in there. And we'll be playing with emojis today. Cool. Yay. Okay, so you found it. Wonderful. Wonderful, wonderful. All right. So here's how we're going to get to your MVC. We're going to move through 6 quick steps. Awesome, awesome. I'm so happy everybody's here and with me. Wonderful. So 6 quick steps. And yes, they are going to move really, really fast, but they build together beautifully. So here's how it's going to work. Step 1, we're going to do a brain dump together. That's what the worksheets are for, or just a scrap piece of paper. We are going to start by getting everything out of your head and onto paper. And I'm going to walk you through all of this. So I'll let you know when we're going to get started. Number 2 is going to be a short list. We're going to narrow down the chaos of your brain dump to get your strongest contenders for those MVC using a few simple questions. Then the magic happens. This next part is my favorite. It's called the 3 lenses. This is where you're going to run through your top picks and we're going to put them through a powerful framework to see what truly matters. Next, we're going to look for pattern recognition. We're going to look for the obvious winner, the one that rises to the top. Then we're going to do a reality check. We are going to get honest about what might be getting in the way of you solving that challenge, that MVC, the most valuable challenge. Finally, we're going to lock it in, we're going to make it real, and you're going to commit. So that's it. 6 steps to total clarity. And are we ready? You ready to do this? Yes, yes. Awesome. Cool. First step, I want you to grab that piece of paper. I want you to grab your worksheet. Erica, can you put the worksheet in the chat just for anybody that just might have come in? We'll put it in. So you're going to have this worksheet. We are going to do that step one on the worksheet that says challenge discovery. All right. So the first step is everything out of your head, and I mean everything. We are going to write down every workplace wellness challenge you're seeing, whether it's big, it's small, it's profound, it's urgent, maybe it's just annoying. No judgment, no editing, just spill it all out onto the paper. Now, here's some examples that I've put up on the page so you can look at the screen. It's going to be one challenge per line. There's a lot of lines on here. So one challenge per line, scribble as much as you want. It's that step one of the worksheet. If you are not sure what to write, these up here on the page are just examples of real challenges that we at Goomi Group see a lot. Your list might look totally different, and that's perfectly okay. These are here on the page just to spark your thinking, to get your creativity flowing. Whatever's on your mind, it does belong here on the page. So I'm going to give you 5 minutes and I'll turn on some music to give you some thinking. Your only job is going to be to write. Now, I am going to ask you to drop a little thumbs up or any emoji that you feel feels good for you, but a thumbs up would be great. Just let me know when you've got at least 5 challenges down on your page. So I'm going to hit play for the first one, and you should be able to hear a little music. And I'm going to set the timer, and you've got 5 minutes to start brainstorming. Okay, so you should have at least like 3 to 4 by now, right? I'm gonna give you, it looks like some people have maybe 5. They're giving me the thumbs up and the smiley faces, which I love. So I'm gonna give it like another minute. If something is floating around, in your brain and you're asking, should I write that down? The answer is yes. I want you to write it. Okay. Cool. So we'll just do like 30 more seconds. All right, so last 30, we're just getting everything onto the page, as many as you'd like. All right. How we doing? Everybody else doing good? You got your stuff on the thing? Got your challenges, brain dump? Wonderful. Okay, I'm gonna keep going. I'm gonna pause. Yay, Dalton got it done too. Awesome. Very cool. Okay, so we should have a page full of our brain dump, which is great. Now, you've just emptied your mental junk drawer. So now we are going to sort it. So let's take a look at your list. Take a deep breath. We're going to do this together. Not everything is equally important. Some of these matter more than most. Now, to narrow it down, I want you to ask yourself three gut check questions. The first, is this affecting people right now? Next, would solving this make a visible difference? And can I influence or drive this change? So, taking a look at your challenges on your page, I want you to write yes for each of these three questions that challenge answers. If it's a yes, write it next to it. Now, if a challenge gets three or more yeses, or at least two really strong ones, I want you to either circle it on the page or put a little star next to it. Again, I'm going to give you a few minutes just to go through and really think about this and think it through. So you're going to have a few minutes. I will put the music back on, and you should be circling your strongest contenders or marking them with yeses, and then we'll start circling them in a second. So here's the music again. Okay, right about now, you should be circling the ones that have all three yeses or two very strong yeses. These are going to be your top contenders for the most valuable challenge. So we're going to look for your top three that are kind of floating to the top right now. And I want you to put a little emoji in here. Let's just see how you're doing. I need to check in. Give me a little emoji. Let's do the number three. Maybe just type in the number three if your top three are coming to the top. Awesome. Now, I've got an extra special question to ask. If you're comfortable sharing it, if you're comfortable, would you want to share maybe one of your top contenders? Maybe throw it in the chat, see how it's coming up. Or maybe people are still working through. Okay, I will let you keep working through for another minute. Awesome. Coming up with a 2026 wellness calendar. Yeah. Okay. Is the music still playing or is it off? Let me see. Okay, looks like it's off. Wonderful. Employee support on what they would like to see more of. Yes, yes. Okay, awesome. So now, and wellness front. Interesting, Christine. Um, so here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna take your top three and you're gonna write it in step two. So in step two, it says top choice number one, top choice number two, and top choice number three. I want you to write your top three choices on those three lines right now. Great. I'm going to give you a second to do that. And then we're going to get to the magic. All right. So do we have our top three written down? Yes. Cool. Here's where it gets really, really interesting. What we're going to do is we're going to evaluate your top challenges, those three that you just wrote down, through a simple but seriously powerful framework. These are going to be three lenses that will reveal which one of these top challenges has the highest value to solve. Because, as I said, not all challenges are created equal. Some lift morale, some create momentum, and some might actually cost the company or your clients or the bottom line real money if you ignore them. So, the three lenses that I'm going to take you through are the moral lens, the ripple lens, and the business lens. And I'm going to talk you through what these are. So, let me explain how it's going to work. First, the moral lens. This one is all about your people. The question to ask yourself is, if you solved this problem, would your employees feel genuinely supported? Would it build trust? And would it impact their day-to-day lives? I'll give you some examples. In the example of like reducing manager burnout, that would be high impact. People would feel seen, they would feel valued. If we were to improve benefits communication, like in marketing materials and things like that, it's helpful, but it's not emotional. So that would be a medium impact. And then an example of a low impact would be like, let's say you decide to add a meditation class on one Friday to see how the team likes it. Adding a one-off wellness perk is lovely and nice. It's just one-off, not very transformational. So the moral lens is all about the emotional impact, what actually changes how your people feel at work. So keep that in mind as I take you through the next two. The ripple lens is all about momentum. So, does solving this challenge make other problems easier to solve? So, ripple effect, think about a stone being thrown in the water, right? The ripples take place and it spreads out. Another way to think about it is the domino effect. So, for example, if your team were to build out a real mental health strategy for the year, that would be a huge ripple, right? You'd reduce absenteeism, improve productivity, increase retention, lower some costs at the bottom line, all of that. So that would be a very high, that would be circled high for the ripple effect. Another example of maybe low, like new break room snacks, putting healthy fruit and snacks in the break room, it is lovely, but it's limited in terms of the ripple effect that will take place. So, when we're going through this exercise, I want you to ask yourself, where does solving one challenge make everything else easier? And that's going to be your signal thinking about it for your MVC. The last lens that you're going to think about things through is the business lens. And this is about real cost. If this challenge stays unsolved, what does it actually cost you, the company, your team, your clients in dollars, turnover, lost productivity? So we'll give you another example. Take burnout and turnover, for example. Replacing someone could cost anywhere between 50% and 200% of that person's salary. That's a huge high cost. So that would be high. Now, low awareness of your wellness program, it happens. You're paying for things that no one uses. That's probably a medium cost. Now, adding that one extra perk that we've been talking about, maybe massages on a quarterly basis. It's nice, but it's not a business risk, and that would be a low cost. So this lens is going to help keep us grounded. As you know, wellness isn't a nice to have. It actually solves real business problems. And when you show leadership the ROI, you will get their attention. So, don't overthink this. We're going to do one at a time. And you can see that step 3, you can like shorthand your top choices. So you're going to put you're going to rewrite the top choice 1, 2, and 3. And then I want you to think about the moral lens, the ripple lens, and the business lens. And you're going to circle either high, medium, or impact for each of those. And if you're torn between two options, high and medium, or medium and low, just go with your gut instinct. Think about what you thought first. Whatever you're thinking first is probably the right answer. So I'm going to give you plenty of time on this one because you're really going to need to think. I'm going to turn on the music again. And let me see if that works. Let me see if I can pick the music. With the music on, you're going to think. I'm going to give you roughly about 5 to 8 minutes. And when you're done, I could really use your help letting me know. Maybe give me like a little reaction, like a hand clap, a high five, something in the emojis to let me know that you guys are kind of powering through this so that nobody's waiting around. Cool? We'll get started. Right about now, you should be finishing your first contender. So that top one choice, you should be probably done on that one and possibly moving to choice. Yay! Okay. I'll give it a few more minutes. Doing. If you have it done, give me a little eyeballs or high five or something to let me know if anybody's starting to see their top front runner. Anything's floating to the top. started. I'm gonna wait for, I think there's like one or two more people that are probably working through maybe choice two, maybe choice three. We'll give it, you guys are working fast. Yeah, awesome. Yay. Okay, I think we're good to move on. Wonderful. So, next step, moment of truth. Oh, let me stop the music. Um, moment of truth. We are going to look at your scorecard. Look at your scoring right now. Look at choices one, top one, two, and three. Which challenge that you wrote down has the most highs? Maybe the most or the biggest ripples. And which one has real cost if you don't solve it? The pattern that you're seeing, that's your most valuable challenge. That's the one that's going to unlock the most impact and ROI for you, your team, your clients. If you're comfortable sharing, I'd love to see what you came up with for your MVC and why it matters. So, if you want, you can do it in the format of challenge, and then this would be your MVC and why it matters. And this could be like one sentence on that. Yeah. So, challenge. And then like, why does it matter? I think that that's important too. How could it help the team? How could it change things? Is anyone surprised with what you came up with? Were you like looking at this being like, wow, I thought it would have been this, but actually based on the number of yeses or the highs that it was? Yeah. Yeah. I always find it really fascinating when we're doing these exercises is to actually see that what you think is going to be it or what you might think is your biggest problem is actually not when you think about the moral lens, the ripple lens, and the business lens. So yeah, high stress and burnout causes turnover, frustration, low morale, and mental health issues. 100%. I am not surprised by that at all, Ashley, either. And I think that that is what we're seeing across the board with a lot of our clients. So um, these are really important and not only important, but also powerful. Okay. Now let's just take a quick second. We're going to take a quick second and do a quick reality check. What's the biggest barrier between you and solving your MVC? So whether that's lack of money or high stress and burnout, what is the barrier that's standing between you and solving it? Now, is it budget? Possibly. If lack of money, then it's definitely budget. Is it buy-in? Or is it just not knowing where to start? And I want you to write that down. And so that will be step number 5. And if you want, I realize I skipped step number 4. So if you want to take your top choice, you're going to write it in step number 4, which you probably saw on the on the worksheet. So you can write that out. But on step number 5, I want you to think about what's the biggest barrier to tackling this challenge. And then ask yourself and kind of check these off. Can you influence this barrier? Can you build a case, pilot something, ask for help or support to make it happen? The truth is that most barriers are not walls, they're just hurdles. And hurdles can be cleared with the right strategy, the right data, or even the right partner. All right, give me a little fire sign. I know there's like a little flame on here. So if you click emoji, there's a little flame. Let me know, put a little flame. If you feel like your MVC, your most valuable challenge, is doable if you had the right support. Is it doable? Yes. Yes. Okay. I love it. Yes. Oh my gosh, you guys are so awesome. Love it. Yeah, these are doable. You just need help, right? And all right. So, next step, we're going to lock it in. This is it. You've done the work, right? 30 minutes in, 32 minutes in, you've done the work. Step 6 is to write your most valuable challenge clearly at the top of the page, of page 4. No, sorry, step 4. Or is it at the top? Yeah, it's step 4. So we're going to write, oh, locking it in. Sorry, step 6. I'm looking at it right now. Step 6, your most valuable challenge for 2026. This is you writing it down, locking it in. And I want you to be specific. And then underneath, it says why this matters. I want you to write in why this matters. Again, being specific, what's the impact on your people? Maybe with that burnout, the impact is, you could reduce absenteeism or you could reduce turnover. And then think about what's the impact on your business. A happier culture, people wanting to come into work. But go ahead and write why it matters. This will become your talking points for your partners, for leadership. It will be your kickoff for planning, and most importantly, your anchor for 2026. Okay, so you've just done the hardest part. It's done, it's over. You've identified what to focus on. That's this step 6, when you locked it in. This is the piece, you've identified what you're going to focus on, and that's the piece most organizations never actually slow down long enough to figure out. So the next step is actually going to be turning that into an actual strategy. So here's what I want you to do. First, you're going to use these worksheets. It's yours. You're going to share it with your partners, your leaders, your team. Even better, you can actually run the same exercise with your team to get buy-in and even new ideas during that brainstorming section. This framework works whether you're flying solo, which I know a lot of you might be HR teams have won, or you're facilitating a group. If you're the broker, and I see a couple of my favorite brokers out there, and you're facilitating the group and your clients, you can use this. The next action, the next step is really to take action in the next 2 weeks. In the next step section, so when you go to next steps on the final page, I want you to write down one thing you're going to do to move your MVC, your most valuable challenge, forward. Just one, and give it a real date so it doesn't vanish into the abyss, right? So let's commit to what step you're going to take and when you're going to take it by. And third, while you're working on that, we can talk strategy. If you're thinking, okay, Mika, but now what? That is the conversation we love. Goomi helps organizations turn their MVCs into a real plan, programs, communication, rollout, engagement metrics, the whole thing. All right, I'm going to give you a minute because I think this is really important. And there's a little part on there that says like notes and ideas. So just take 1 minute. I turn the music back on. Just give it 1 minute and fill out this next steps. It really is important. we at Goomi Group, we're going to help you. We're going to deliver programs across all we can, and we can help you deliver programs across all 6 pillars of health. So, mental health, physical health, social, financial, nutritional, and personal. So, you get one partner, one platform, and everything you need under one roof. From strategy to programs to nationwide implementation, we can make wellness easy, human, and proven. I want to thank you for showing up and doing this work with me today. Truly, truly, I am so grateful. This level of strategic thinking is what separates good leaders from the great ones, and also good thinkers from the great ones. And if you want to turn your MVC into the real plan with the programs, the partners, the timelines, and a budget that actually fits your culture, we'd love to be able to help you. You can book a strategy session with me personally directly by just emailing me. My email is in the chat. Erica was nice enough to drop it in. I would love, love, love to hear from you. And we're here at Goomi Group anytime you're ready. So, with that, go lead boldly, go build momentum, and go make 2026 your best year yet. Thank you, everybody.